State legalized marijuana is a $10.4 billion industry. Does this multi-billion-dollar industry have any effect on home prices? Should you avoid buying a house in a neighborhood with a pot shop nearby? When a marijuana dispensary opens up in your neighborhood, should you rush to sell because it's all going to pot? Well, there's actually been a lot of research done that looks at what effect legalizing marijuana has on the real estate market. So let's hash out the data. If you live in a state that hasn't legalized marijuana, or if you've never been to a dispensary, it's important to keep in mind that often the legal cannabis dispensaries look like an upscale boutique or an organic cafe. They're not scary looking. Pot shops tend to have a style that's sleek upscale minimalism. A cannabis store can actually elevate the look of the area, giving it a more gentrified modern feel, rather than bringing down the aesthetics of the neighborhood. Let's start at the beginning. After 2012, when Colorado became the first state to legalize retail marijuana for recreation, home values increased by about 6%, or $15,600 per property. In Colorado, marijuana tax, license, and fee revenue has reached over $1 billion, and marijuana sales over $6.5 billion. Clever Real Estate analyzed data from Zillow and found that home values immediately increased in U.S. cities once voters approved legal cannabis. Home values are higher in states where marijuana is legal, and this stays true whether it's allowed for medicinal use, recreational use, or both. Medicinal legalization drove home values up by about $1,500 more than in states where marijuana is illegal. States that recently legalized marijuana can expect home prices to rise, especially in states where recreational marijuana is allowed. Once recreational marijuana was legalized, cities with retail dispensaries saw home values increase over $22,000 more than in cities where marijuana is illegal from 2014 to 2019. Homes within a tenth of a mile to retail dispensaries increased in value approximately 8.4% compared to those further away. In 1996, California became the first state to legalize medical marijuana. In 2016, it became legal for recreational use. California saw the biggest increase in home values, up by over $128,000 since 2017. In 2014, Washington, D.C. legalized marijuana for recreational and medical use, but banned commercial sale of weed. This resulted in a slower growth for the D.C. area compared to the national average. So it's not so much about the sale of medical marijuana or even just legalizing it for recreational use. It's more about allowing the commercial sale of the marijuana, where you'll see the ultimate recipe for the biggest increase in home prices. The difference is the cash flow from all these different high-priced products found in pot shops. The buds, edibles, extracts, tinctures, vape pens, and branded marijuana products increase the cash flow that goes back into the local market. So housing prices respond. It's the commercial sale of cannabis, not the medical sale of cannabis, where we'll see the highest increase in home prices. In 5 states that had legalized recreational marijuana but had yet to begin sales, would have seen home values increase by an average of over $61,000 had the sales gone into effect in 2017. So once sales go into effect, the prediction is home values will increase by more than $60,000 on average. Surprisingly, cities with more marijuana dispensaries are positively correlated with higher home values. Neighborhoods in both Colorado and Washington experienced a 7% home price appreciation as marijuana dispensaries opened nearby. Currently, Colorado has the most dispensaries in the United States. Colorado has over 2,900 licensed marijuana businesses and about 41,000 licensed individuals working in the industry. Both recreational and medicinal dispensaries have contributed to soaring home values in states where marijuana is legal. Between April 2014 and April 2021, each new dispensary in a city where marijuana was legal drove home values up by $519 on average, regardless of whether the dispensary sold recreational or medicinal marijuana. When looking specifically at recreational marijuana, states that legalize it and open retail dispensaries see far greater property tax value gains and tax revenue gains than states that block dispensaries or limit it to medicinal use. When states legalize marijuana sales, they gain the rare opportunity to tax an entirely new and expensive commodity. On average, home values increased by $470 for every $1 million increase in tax revenue. This was obvious in California because they collected the most amount of tax revenue from marijuana. Since January 2018, total cannabis tax revenue to date is $4 billion. So they saw the biggest increase in home values, over $128,000 just for marijuana alone, when controlling for other factors. In addition to tax revenue from retail, rising home values result in higher property taxes. The cannabis industry creates new jobs and increases demand for both commercial and residential property, which pushes home prices and property tax revenue up. The most interesting thing I learned when reading about this topic was in Colorado after legalizing marijuana. In that first year, hotel revenue soared by $130 million. This shows legalizing recreational marijuana also creates a fresh boost for tourism, which in turn creates more jobs in other sectors, not just marijuana, and enhances retail spending, which puts more tax dollars back into the community, which all have a positive effect on real estate. Not to mention, when there's an increase in tourism, there's an increase in demand for vacation properties and short-term rentals, like Airbnb. This creates a new opportunity for you to invest in rental property. In the United States, the legal sale of cannabis is projected to be $30 billion by 2025. Those states that have yet to legalize marijuana at all are missing out. Legalized recreational marijuana creates a new tax revenue stream for state and local governments, which are used to help give communities a boost to their budgets, to improve public services, schools, infrastructure, and more. These neighborhood upgrades will make an area more desirable and the homes more expensive. Plus, these community improvements from taxes make a noticeable difference to current homeowners, enticing them to stay put, which drives home prices up even further. Other states use marijuana tax revenue to fund important programs. For example, Washington devotes its marijuana tax revenue to its Basic Health Plan Trust account, which provides basic health care services to those who lack coverage. According to a report by Urban Institute, education programs, including pre-K and community colleges, are most likely to benefit from this new source of tax revenue from marijuana. For example, Oregon devoted 40% of its marijuana tax revenue to its state school fund, which generated over $180 million between 2017 and 2021. Arizona, which legalized marijuana, plans to follow suit by devoting 33% of its future marijuana tax revenue to its community colleges. Legalizing marijuana creates a wave of new businesses and creates new jobs. Today, the cannabis industry supports 321,000 full-time jobs across the United States. 2020 was an excellent year for hiring as new states legalized marijuana. Despite the pandemic causing unemployment rates to soar, the cannabis industry added 77,300 new full-time jobs to the economy for an impressive 32% year-over-year increase. A report from the National Association of Realtors found that in states where medical and recreational marijuana was legal for more than 3 years, had an increased demand for commercial property. Specifically, there was an increase in demand for warehouses by 42%, storefronts by 27%, and land by 21%. Real estate markets with fully operational systems for recreational marijuana can attract more home buyers, including business people, employees, and marijuana consumers. Some home buyers see a local dispensary as a top amenity when they're shopping for a home. Plus, homes in recreation legal-friendly states that are right next to other states that haven't legalized recreational cannabis have more potential cannabis-related appreciation because they attract people and businesses from those states. With more marijuana stores opening up, that puts the need for labor up, which in turn puts the need for homes up. For those of you looking to rent, or you own rental property, or are looking to buy rental property, when home prices go up, so does the rent in the area. Both residential property and commercial property will surge in value after cannabis is made legal. So both residential landlords and commercial landlords can take a deep breath. Today, 88% of U.S. adults say medical or recreational marijuana should be legal, with 59% saying both medical and recreational marijuana should be legal. 30% say only medical marijuana should be legal. Just 1 in 10 say all marijuana should be illegal. Whether you are for or against legalizing marijuana, let's be honest. The future of real estate looks really green. To find a neighborhood with a cannabis dispensary nearby, or to just find the home prices in your area, follow the link below and I'll find you a realtor who knows. For more information on real estate, check out my other videos. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch this one.